Oh.
ASMR.
Podcast.
Welcome to the, this isn't In Orbit, this is the All Circles Media Podcast, right?
Yeah, all circles.
All Circles Media Podcast. I'm your, I guess, host with the most because Ty is not here. My name is Shanklin. If you guys don't know me by now, you're doing something wrong.
Indeed. Indeed.
This is two of my good friends here. We got Gary. He just goes by Gary. Or G Fizz, or your mom's favorite. Your mom's favorite.
Yep. That's it.
This guy's got the voice of an angel and the New York accent of somebody who owns a pizza shop. And then we got Ashton Photography, and he's a beast. He's nice with the camera. And then to my left we got Yanko, or Apex Communications.
Bro, y'all are letting my childhood name out loose to the public. I do not.
Okay, it's not Yanko.
It's Jan.
It's
Sean.
Wait,
Dude,
like Yanni? Like Yanni?
Like Yanni the piano player, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Jan. So the KO on the end in Slovak culture means little Jan, right? So when I turned 15,
You're no longer
I just
Yanko?
no longer was Yanko. So I use it as a way to gauge. Like if somebody comes up and they're like, "Oh, Yanko, I haven't seen you in forever," I'm like, "Oh, you must have known me prior to like
My beard.
My
Yeah.
whole life, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
So that I know I
Okay.
need to like be nice even if I don't remember them.
Gotcha.
You know, type of thing.
Yep.
What's good, Yanko? How you doing today, bro? But y'all know, obviously,
That's how you get them to be nice.
People
you
are
know?
already confused
Yep.
enough about it as it is.
And then to my right, I got the man who makes it all possible. I got Mr. Adam Robb, DJ Arthritis, and
That's me.
yep, he's like, that's fucking me,
DJ
dude. Man with the
Arthritis.
shades. It's cloudy on. He still has shades on.
Oh
He's
yeah,
a
no, the sun
fucking
came out.
Yeah,
towards
that's
the end of the
alright.
day. It was,
Oh, yeah.
it was the sun was shining on us.
It's nighttime. This guy wears sunglasses.
Is that a bottle of pee? What the fuck is
This
that?
is piss. He said the same thing.
I was like,
This
dang,
is my
dude.
pristine
I know you
piss.
don't drink, but that looks like some drinking piss.
This is
I mean, that's.
pristine piss.
Hold on. You were I don't know, at the courthouse or whatever. You
Yeah.
were shooting something,
Yep.
and
I was shooting up the courthouse. Yeah.
Oh jeez.
no, a video, shooting a video, and so I'm
Demonetized.
standing
Yeah,
on the sidewalk, and I look at them. You know, he's shooting and he's rapping, and I look down and I see this bottle sitting there. It looks like a piss bottle,
Listen,
and I'm like, somebody left a bottle of piss
right next
there.
to him.
Oh my god.
And then he picks it up.
He
He
drinks.
takes a swig.
It's like Dumb and Dumber
You know?
with the beer bottle.
I'm like, oh, I guess that's his.
Oh,
That looks
man.
like a bottle of
It
piss.
does. It's Mio.
what- yeah, what is that?
It's like
Pretty dark.
strawberry something. Strawberry some shit.
It's more pineapple-y.
Yeah, I think strawberry pineapple is what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Strawberry
I
pineapple
got that,
Mio,
yeah.
like caffeine shit.
Okay.
Bomb. I love
I'm sure it tastes great.
Yeah.
It looks
it.
like
Does.
piss.
And then I threw it. And then I threw it.
Let me just put
Nothing
this
you're
up.
saying is detracting
Look at that.
from the
Yeah.
look of the bottle.
Yeah.
It looks like piss from.
It's also warm.
It looks like piss from somebody who hasn't drank enough of this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is very dehydrated.
Well,
Well, I'm
it's
saying that's like night out at the bar, kind of.
Yeah.
It's also the vessel. It's a water bottle. So, like,
Yeah.
water should be in there.
Yeah.
And so, if
100%.
if there was, like, if it was pink or blue or whatever, like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, there's some kind of
Piss.
flavor in there.
Piss.
But that just looks like piss.
Yep. Hey, and it is what it is.
So,
So
Listen,
what do you?
But anyway. Anyhow.
In an effort to escape from this piss rabbit hole.
Right.
So,
Yep.
I mean, I don't have any ideas.
Oh, you don't
I'm
have
just-
any ideas
no,
to get
I
out
was
of
just
this?
like,
Oh,
give it. I was chucking
He
you
was-
up a prompt.
He was giving you a shovel
Yeah.
to dig our way out of this shit.
Piss Creek? Okay, anyway.
Shit Creek.
But yeah, welcome to All Circles Media Podcast. We do nothing but bullshit.
Yeah.
These are the conversations that we have off camera, but they're just on camera.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
difference. I think people get shit confused a lot of times because they're like, this is actually good because Ashton, this is like Ashton. Both these guys first day here at the studio podcast area. And Ashton was like, bro, this podcast room seems so much bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope. I'm like, this
Yeah.
bitch is like.
With this giant ass
Yep.
table, it is tight in here.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
So I think the perception that certain
Yeah.
people have of like, which is good. You want people to perceive you as like a rock star and oh, you're so successful. But I'm like, I'm the same asshole on camera, off camera. Like
Keep
me
it
and him
real.
are both servers, and I'm the same son of a bitch that like in the back of the house that I am when I'm talking to my table.
Yeah.
You know.
Throwing breadsticks at people.
Yeah.
You gotta have like a little bit of fun.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You have to.
I used to
doing
work at Panera Bread, and at the end of the night, if like the donation people didn't show up, they would just give us all this free bread, and then we would kind of
Bread.
chuck it at each other in the back. Good times.
that.
I remember that. Those were
That's the
fun
good
time.
stuff.
Yeah, nothing like beating the hell out of a coworker with a panini.
Yeah. With some
So-
ciabatta.
You're like
Big baguette, you know.
I was just gonna
Baguette
say
sword
a
fights.
baguette bat.
Oh yeah, they definitely did that.
So Ashton, you sent me this full ass resume,
Yeah.
and I didn't look through a single. I even clicked the link
Okay.
because I don't.
Asshole.
Wow.
Well, first off, I don't need a resume. Okay, I'm very easy. I don't have a manager. All right, I'm not hiring nobody, but I do appreciate it. So, tell us a little bit about what you do. All right, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
tell us about what you do. What you
Let's
got
do it.
going on. Move the
Well-
mic closer a little bit. There you go. Make out with that thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
You gotta get right up on it, kind of.
Wow.
He's like, no.
Welcome
Now
to
you
the
put-
podcast.
I mean, I've been at YouTube since I was 12 years old. I've always been inspired by a YouTuber called Markiplier.
Oh, Mark.
Yep.
I used to watch him a lot, and ever since then, I've always tried to become like a YouTube star and stuff. Done a lot of gaming, and I've been able to reach like 100 average viewers on Twitch and YouTube as well. A lot of that was like Among Us, and I don't know Choo Choo Charles games. I don't know if you guys know that stuff.
I know Among Us. I've heard of. Yeah, I think everybody knows Among Us. So that's the good shit.
But yeah, I've been doing that for such a long time, and I've been trying to become a star. And now I think I've found what I actually want to do, and I want to help people gain their popularity. Because I mean, I feel like I've been doing this for so long that I can help someone else get where I couldn't be.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah. And so your thing is photography, videography, media work. So just go into kind of that side of things, or like what inspired you to do that.
well, as you know, we were in the same photography class.
Yep. Shout out Mr. Suey. Man, throw a soundbite on for Mr. Suey.
Don't get crazy.
Yep. Oh, that's a new one. I like that
Don't
one.
get crazy. That's for Shank. This is a Shank button.
Don't get crazy.
Don't get crazy.
Is that
I
his
am not
voice?
the one.
No.
Oh, okay.
But
No,
it
that's
sounds-
a random
sounds
TikTok.
like he's a
Mr. Sui.
Don't get crazy.
facts.
He was
I love Mr.
interesting.
Suey.
Don't get crazy.
I don't know.
So
I
yeah,
kind
with the photography classes, right?
that definitely
Yep.
sparked my interest a little bit, because that, like, learning how to do all that stuff definitely helped with my inspiration and motivation with YouTube and thumbnails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of work.
And that's funny too, because that's actually what inspired me a lot. Like I talk about all the time, is like I actually was on like more of a science, environmental path. Like that's what I liked a lot, and I still spend a lot of time outside. Like I hike a lot and I kayak and shit. But photography was like one of the first creative things that really opened up that side of my brain.
That's cool.
And it's
Yeah.
it's cool because then it taught me like the visual side of things, and then once music all happened the way it did, now like when we're shooting videos or I'm doing certain things, like I also have both sides of the coin where it's like, okay,
You're like, I know the rule of thirds.
exactly, like I need somebody to shoot the content for me, but I can also, like what we did earlier, like I can tell you kind of like what I want. It's not just like, oh, you do everything. Kind of like you were saying about like being an engineer compared to a producer. It's like anybody can push the button, anybody can set up a camera, but when you have people who can tell you like, oh, I like this shot better, or oh, let's frame it this way, and then when
Yep.
you have multiple people who can do that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but I agree. Sorry, continue. But yeah, photography has sparked both of our interests for sure.
I also took a graphic design class at my high school, and I don't know. I felt like it did broaden my senses on what that like graphic design is,
Yeah.
but it didn't take me to where I really wanted it, because it was kind of easy, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I did learn Illustrator and Photoshop. That was interesting, and then it did help photography more, because then I understood the programs a lot
of
better.
Photoshop work there. Yeah.
I did like the photography classes a lot, because they would like make us do journaling and stuff or whatever, and you create projects on like what types of photography there are.
Yeah.
And that definitely, I actually have kept that book so I can use it to my advantage.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's cool.
That the stuff that we learned from there was super cool. What do you call a lot of like there was like emulation or like you had to research a certain photographer and then like do shit off their style, and that was actually some of my least favorite because I like to just freelance shit. I'm very just like open flowing and open minded, but that's also where you get like the difference in roles. It's like I'm more of like a let me just create from scratch, whereas like a photographer or somebody who does that shit full time is much more of like a let me use like what I've like the question you posed earlier when you're like what's shit that you've seen that you like you really like what's the aesthetic you're going for, what's the post that you like that also do really well, right? Shit like that I don't even think about because I'm just like, oh, I just want to create, right? I'm not even looking at other shit.
Yeah.
But I think that's big because it's like you are much more keen to the side that's like, oh, I'm gonna keep this information and I'm gonna like use that and apply it, where I'm like, man, fuck the information, I'm just like, let's just go, let's just do it.
That sounds like a title for a song.
Fuck the information.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very like 2008 punk song.
Yeah.
Where they're rebelling against teachers.
Fair.
Boom.
Hey, there you go.
That's you two there.
Or the internet.
But yeah.
Or something.
WikiLeaks first started hitting.
Facts.
Yep.
But no, yeah, I mean, and so that shit got like your photography and just overall like camera mind going, right?
Yeah, it definitely did.
So, but yeah, I mean, we're glad to have you around. Me and him have talked about doing a lot of content stuff in the future. So it's another person who will be at concerts and will be doing a lot of shit. So everybody who's watching, look forward to seeing him getting like just in posts, like whether it's just like video creds or collaborator or whatever the fuck it is, stuff like that. Which also, I want to shout out the collaborator on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that's a good tool.
Because collaborator single-handedly keeps my daily streak of posting alive.
Yeah.
Because there's times where like, I don't know what the fuck to post, and then he posts something out of nowhere, and he invites me as collaborator. I'm like, yeah.
You're like,
let's
do
go.
anything else.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's how I felt the last couple of days. Sick.
Who was that guy you put on your story that was reviewing your song?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Charlie?
Oh
was
yeah,
dope.
yeah. We should play.
That guy was
some of
cool.
Stuff. His name is Casey. I forget his full name.
Casey. Oh, what was
Let
it?
me look it up. It's
Yeah, he's a.
but
How
he's
do you
super
find you
dope.
guys
so,
again?
So your friend Eric, the one who runs. So
Shout out Dr. Clean Detailing.
he has a friend who does like details cars and cleans cars and shit, and he likes all of our music. He's been fucking with us for some time. He likes a lot of my posts. He's very like he engages a lot with stuff.
That's dope.
And he just randomly made a group chat like 2 days ago, and it was me, Puff, Charlie, Tyler, and I don't think he really knows Two Side. That's why I didn't add him. But it was us four, Eric, and then this guy's name is Casey. Casey Trippin' TV is his thing. Cater Ruff is I guess like his actual name.
Oh, yeah.
But so Casey, it was us four, Eric and Casey in this group chat, and he told him, he's like, I've gotten this guy to react to my music. He would do a reaction for each one of you guys, and then he reached out to all of us and like individually, and got like a thumbnail, got the track, got the links, and then he followed all of us.
Yeah.
Super cool guy.
Yeah, I was talking.
He's got like
a
almost
bit
50K
today.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's got YouTube channel with almost 20K. I think he's at 15 or 16.
It's pretty. Yeah, and like it was cool. Like the way he did it. Like he was just vibing with
he
everybody.
pumped that shit. He got that shit out quick. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It was like he was on it. Like the
It was
next
like
day they
once
were out.
once every hour. Like he was posting.
He
I was
posts
like,
like
dang.
crazy. That guy's a fucking machine.
Yeah.
So
Like, that's good.
but yeah, no, he's. I mean,
That's what you gotta do if you want to be content.
Facts.
Man.
Yeah.
And,
Gotta
and it is reactions.
for it.
Reactions are one of those things that are easy. You can just press
Right.
the thing and go.
Oh shit!
But
Yeah.
because
And
there
this
was no
shit hard
cuts. It's the intro. It's the song, and then
Yeah.
it's there's like cuts in between. That's it. But no like crazy editing or anything like that. But I mean, shout out him. He liked.
People were
he
messing with
liked
the
us a
music
lot.
in
Yeah.
the comments.
There's a couple hundred views on all the videos that I saw
Yep.
so far.
And I went to my comment section and I replied to everybody who liked my stuff, and I was like, hey, if you like this shit, follow me on Instagram at my handle.
Okay.
Putting in the work.
That's it.
I'm trying to just network because I'm like, this is 200-300 people that have probably never heard my music before. that.
I mean, would it hurt you to maybe spend a little time finding other people that do what he does and
I've thought, what's funny is
contacting them?
The day that he,
just kind of.
The day that happened, I was sitting in my kitchen and I was like, I need to get a reaction channel to react to my shit. And then I shit you not, like half an hour later, this group chat's made, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got this guy who does reaction stuff." I'm like,
You're like, sweet, look at that.
You shall receive.
Yep. So
it was out there.
It was already in my head. And it was out there. So
and you were kind of, but it was floating around.
Yep.
All the people involved there. So.
Yep. And so, but no, I think that'd be super cool to get reaction channels. I think just another form of networking. People who haven't heard your music yet.
I mean, there is something to be said about them needing things to react to.
Exactly.
And you needing people to
hear my shit. So yeah.
So like we were talking about before, like something could be awesome, but if people don't get a chance to hear it, then there's no chance for it to find out what it actually would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So if we can get more people to hear it and find different ways, let's do that.
Gary.
Dropping
wisdom.
Dude, trust me. That's why I invited him here. I work with this guy. And working in a fast-paced environment like a restaurant, you don't really have a whole lot of time.
Belden Village Olive Garden.
Exactly. You don't really have a lot of time. But end of the night or when it's slow, me and Gary will just be talking about shit. And
isn't that one of the top grossing OGs in the country?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It is.
I know the Chick-fil-A is like the number 2 in the nation. Revenue-wise.
There's a lot of food in that whole little small, section of land.
Anything you think of.
Yeah.
But this motherfucker just comes up with every musical idea, whether it's an engineering thing or a marketing thing. He was just rattling off 10 ideas back there, off camera. But
I tend to do that if we start talking
about it. Exactly. That's why I brought him
around.
It's
like opening Pandora's box.
Yeah, kind of.
It's another mind. There's more ideas.
I mean, I've spent so much time.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is probably a great time for Gary to jump into the convo. What is Gary's background story?
Sure. I'm from New York.
Yeah.
If you can't tell.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
That's a New York gesture right there.
Long Island specifically. I've been there my entire life, and I moved to Ohio maybe a year ago, something like that. Sorry, my voice is a little.
You're all good.
But I started studying audio recording in 2002.
I wasn't even born yet.
I went to.
Does that make you feel old?
I shouldn't say years. I think I should just leave that out.
Thanks, Shane.
I went to college. Did that, and I just became obsessed with recording people and learning how to do that really well. Went and got a job, make as much money as possible so I can buy audio equipment.
Yeah, that's it's the game right there. It's like crack cocaine. You just can't stop buying stuff.
And so I mean, it is kind of like
then
that.
You buy an interface.
Ooh, that mic looks cool. I wonder what that would sound like. I'll just spend $400.
Yeah, I'm laughing because every single time Charlie finds some new toy,
I'll plug in.
He's always walking up to the group. He's like, "We need this."
Yeah, I need these $450 headphones.
Do we need it?
It cuts out the room something, and I'm like, all right. I mean,
all background. He's like, this is industry standard shit.
So
it's either industry standard or it is going to be in his eyes.
Yeah. So I worked with bands, artists, rappers, all kinds of things over the years. I was saying earlier, the whole reason I got into it in the first place is because I wanted to make my own music.
Yeah.
I loved music. I discovered it when I was, I started playing the cello when I was in 3rd grade or something.
Oh,
yeah.
And that was interesting. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Shout out to the cello.
But when I
some yo-yo ma.
When I was 12, I learned to play the guitar, and I was like, oh, this is way cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I was a senior in high school that I really discovered that I can't live without music.
Facts.
Even though it's been a little while for me, recently, but I got so into it at that point. I joined the choir. I was still in the orchestra. I started taking music theory classes. I was just like, this is it.
Right.
This is my life. I need
This
to
guy
figure
was
out
Mr.
everything.
Music
You know?
right here.
Yeah.
So then I decided to go to school for audio. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just like I want to do everything. I love it. You know.
Yep.
So I was like, I could just learn how to do this and record myself, and my band will just be rock stars in a couple of years, and it'll be amazing. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facts.
Right? Is that how this goes?
Oh, always.
I mean, I swear I saw a movie like that somewhere. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
But what happened was I just got really into like the recording, and because it took a lot of effort to learn how to do it really well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, who can I record? You want to record? You want to do something? I need to learn, you know. And I just became obsessed with doing that and learn how to do it right and all this. So I got really caught up doing that and kind of like lost my way from
Making your own stuff.
learning, you
Right,
know, this
right.
so that I could record myself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it just kind of like I built my own studio. I must have spent tens of thousands of dollars,
Oh,
you know, opening a studio on Long Island. Very
Oh, yeah.
expensive.
Yep.
You know, business partnerships go bad. All sorts of things happen, you know. But
It's just life.
yeah,
For real.
yeah. I taught audio for 4 years at a school called the Recording Engineers Institute. That changed my life completely.
Yep.
Teaching.
Yeah. I never in my life thought I would ever do that.
Yeah.
But I just was like, wow, this is so cool. I think I learned more in 4 years of teaching than I did the whole time before that.
Oh wow.
You know, not necessarily like specific things, but sorry,
Oh, you're good.
like a lot about myself, about why I was doing this, you know. Sorry.
That's that Ohio phlegm. Shout out to Flum.
Flum.
Shout out Flum. You know the Michigan guys. But
In
This is
the
phlegm.
Canton underground music.
this is phlegm.
Jesus.
It's
But-
just like yeah.
So, yeah, that was a great experience. But I had to leave New York, so
Right.
I had to quit that job and just like get out.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up here.
Yep.
You know,
What brought you to the Canton area?
my folks moved here
Oh, okay.
like 3-4 years ago,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, I need to get out of here. Where can I go?
Oh yeah. Good old fucking.
Canton, Ohio,
Yeah,
baby.
Yep.
I'm gonna hit pause.
Oh. This motherfucker killed the battery.
Oh.
Boo.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Battery died.
Battery died on the camera.
Full of dead
Oh.
batteries today.
They can still hear us though.
No. Maybe.
Well, that's just recording onto that. We're not like streaming. So.
Oh, we're not streaming. Oh, okay.
So what? Are you gonna,
There was one night where we were going out of fucking pocket
Oh,
before the mic. Before we thought the mics were going live. I mean, we were talking about X's and like
Well, everybody that comes in when it like they talk about the most
it's like
crazy shit.
the
I'm
most
like,
wild
just
shit.
assume if you're in front of a mic, just assume it's on.
Yeah, and then Adam at one point was like, "I'm pretty sure we're streaming right now," and we were all like, "What the fuck?" I was talking about like somebody that is a client of mine now who I like was actively hooking up with like 2 years ago, and I was like, "Hopefully."
piping down those clients.
Like, yeah.
Business relationship.
She's like married and shit now. Like that would be terrible.
I mean, as long as there was no names dropped,
right,
it might have been all right.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so we went through and took that out of there.
That's funny.
Yeah, but all right.
There was another time we were live streaming and our buddy Bones was like explaining the whole supply chain process
Of
behind
weed.
him moving pounds of bud, and we were like,
like,
"Bro, like you're
Yeah.
you're on live right now," and he was like, "Oh shit."
Rashad
I love
comes in
fucking
here.
Bones. I come in here. Yeah, I come in
Like,
here.
you eat
spewing off
grandma's ass?
bullshit.
You're like, no, dude.
It's like, bro, I just got done eating
Whoa.
ass. You guys wouldn't believe it. You know?
Does he do that when he's working?
I thought about getting bitches though. I'm like I said, you're gonna get some form of bullshit with me. It just depends on, you know.
All right. So yeah, this is recording, but we can. So. Right,
nice.
We can start. That's where I'll cut it.
But yeah, so you moved to Ohio. You know, you have a lot of experience just in music in general.
Yeah.
Did you bring a lot of your studio here?
I sold a lot of stuff before I left.
Oh, okay.
And I still have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I really got rid of a lot of stuff.
And still have a lot of stuff.
You're like, I still got 5 crates.
So,
Well, at one point I was like really obsessed with collecting vinyl.
Yeah.
And I accumulated like 10,000 records
Oh my
at some
gosh.
point.
That's a nice
no
collection
joke.
It's pretty good.
Well, because I probably like 2015, something like that. I got really into like sampling,
Oh, okay.
and so I was like, at
Like
a
the
thrift.
really obscure like
Well,
records.
It was kind of. I'm at a thrift store, you know, and I've been like messing around with sampling things that I downloaded and whatever. And I'm at a thrift store, and I see this wall of records, but like it looked like a dump truck just backed up and dumped them into the shelves.
yeah.
And then a bomb exploded, and they're all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got this weird feeling of like, how could you
Yeah.
kind of feeling, you know? How could you take music and just treat it that way,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm.
It's like,
Disrespect.
Disrespect.
granted, you know, the record is not the current popular medium of listening.
Right.
But I still feel like these things have this like inherent value
Yeah.
that made me just, I have to go there and look through this because
Yeah.
this is something
Yeah.
not right here. And I have to see what's there. It just kind of drew me there. And I just like, oh, what is this?
Yep.
How could this have ever existed? This is incredible. I have to hear what's on this, you know? And some of the album covers, especially in like the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
are questionable,
Yep.
Yeah. I have
to say the least.
I have a Queen Bicycles album where it like it's got a big bright pink poster of like naked people on bikes. And I was like, this stuff music doesn't come like this anymore.
Nope.
No, but it should.
Like the John Lennon Yoko Ono album.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
It should in the sense of like people still buy these things. Especially like independent artists. You know, I was telling you this I think recently, like you should put out an album on vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
110% because
Yeah, like Jack White, he revived like a whole pressing plant for like new pressings and stuff.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like you can make that a very special thing for your real fans. And fans who really love you don't even need to have a turntable and they'll buy it from you.
Oh
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
they
yeah.
want to put it on the wall. They
Yeah.
want to hold it. They want to, because that's what's missing in music now a
It's the
lot. Is like
tangibility,
I have no,
The personal bullshit.
you know, people in the 70s and the 80s and maybe even the 90s. I mean, they would hold the jacket and the sleeve like while they're listening to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they would look through it and experience the whole thing, and that's not really happening the same way now because I could just skip. What's this? What's that? You know.
Yeah.
Music's on passively in the background. They're kind of just like it's just happening.
Right.
They're not really like.
The depth of experience is
Yeah.
different.
You take a vinyl, you put it down, and you put the needle down, and it's just like,
Yeah.
ooh, what's about to happen?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
There's that
Yeah.
silence.
Yep.
you know,
Crackling.
if you've never heard this album before and you do that, it's like this weird anticipation that happens.
So many of the bluegrass and like country albums that I have are vinyls. I mean, like all of my Chris Stapleton records are vinyls. I've like got old OG Waylon Jennings vinyls, Haggard vinyls. Like
That's awesome.
you can, we play them during like family get-togethers and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like my dad has an old Nat King Cole vinyl.
Oh, dude, I got a couple of
Christmas
those. Yeah.
album and
Super classic.
other
yeah.
stuff like that. There's just no replacement for like the fire crackling in the background, and then you hear that crackling of the record.
Yeah.
And it skips every now and then, and
Or you're like, I need to
like-
brush this thing off.
I mean, like,
it's the imperfection that's
Right.
like, oh,
these are the
this
things
is
that are not
dope.
really supposed to be there until like they're all worn out and whatnot. But like, you still kind of love that,
Yeah,
It's
like I know exactly where where it's going to like crackle.
Yeah,
at
but
this point,
there's also this like noise that's constantly there that almost glues the entire experience together.
Yeah.
Like it's always like the music will be louder than it, and then it'll still be
I
there.
gotta
and
look
it
into
just kind
that.
of like flows. It's like
I
this
need
weird
some-
experience that
I
happens.
gotta look into
Yeah.
that for my second album because I want that to be something that's like listened to in a very like me and you were talking about this. Like I want it to be taken seriously. I want it to be like very like I want it to be an art piece.
You just have to make sure that I think first know that you're going to do that beforehand so
Yeah.
that you can make the album in that way that it works, because there are time constraints
yeah,
and things like that.
yeah,
But also the album needs to be mastered completely differently for a vinyl record than it is for a streaming.
Okay.
Completely differently.
okay,
So I would recommend finding like a mastering engineer that would like
specialized
master it for vinyl,
Yeah,
yeah. And that's probably a lot of
So-
money.
Not necessarily.
Really?
I mean, probably wouldn't be more than you would spend per song to do it streaming, at
Okay.
least at that level. So, you might be able to find somebody to do it a few $100 like per song.
Oh shit!
Maybe
16 songs. Yeah, that ends up
little
being ends up being a
maybe
lot of money. Hopefully,
maybe less. Depends on how it might be like, oh, you're doing this many, I'll do it for this rate per
Bulk
song.
rate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I normally do, if you send me one song, $250 a song, but I might do it for like $125 a song
yeah.
because you're doing 10 songs. But also, you shouldn't have that many songs on an album. I
Me
mean,
and him go back and
yeah,
forth all the time.
like,
We'll go back and
on-
forth.
Unless-
not on a vinyl record for sure.
No,
well,
yeah.
this is kind of like my theory is that the vinyl record is the perfect example of what an album should be.
Well, yeah, if you look at
Yeah.
like streaming, that really affected the amount of songs because
Well, CDs
Yeah.
did that
and
first.
yeah,
Because CDs were like, oh, we can fit like 20 songs on here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, let's do that. And then,
The same
Those-
Sansa.
but
dude, that's what I had.
But so many of those artists that
was
put out
awesome.
albums that way in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, stuff like that, that were just, oh, we're putting out a CD. That would you'd hear people say that we're putting out a CD, like
Yeah.
not really an album.
Yeah.
They later, when vinyl becomes a big thing in like early 2010s, into even the last few years where it's still kind of a popular thing. There's a sort of niche thing for it, but
definitely a big niche market
but-
for it. Yeah.
those artists that put those albums out that were big then are now putting their albums out on vinyl to try and get people in this new wave,
Yeah,
and they all have to be 2 discs.
yeah, because
And it's not the same experience when you're listening to 2 discs like
Yeah.
for an album,
yeah,
Yeah.
The vinyl is an experience that happens like, it starts like just like we were saying before, like the needle goes down, but then it ends halfway through. It ends.
yeah. I mean, you gotta
So you got to flip it over, and then there's another one of those. Ooh, what's this?
Yeah,
So like, the artists that were doing it right were having that in their head when they're
That
in the
halfway
studio
mark, yeah.
making and writing the songs.
Yeah.
So which song goes in the beginning of the first side, and which one is the end of the first side?
Oh,
Which one
yeah.
is the beginning of the second side, and which one's the end of that? And how does that interplay?
Yeah.
I think bands like Zeppelin and Floyd and Rush and like all of those like ballad style rock are like the first time vinyl wise that I was really like, ooh, there's a really purposeful intention behind this halfway point. And it's either like, you lead up with a lot of these like softer kind of emotional music, and then it turns into like a power ballad as soon as you flip it over. There's like all of these different ways that you're changing the personality of the
Yeah.
music.
Dude,
Or
Hotel California. That's like one of my favorite albums I got that to listen to on vinyl, just because.
I
that
can't.
song
Yeah,
hit-
dude, the Eagles.
Yeah,
are
Hotel
fantastic, dude.
California. Just that track alone, like hits
The song is
so amazing.
so hard.
Think about how
Yeah.
many
Thinking
times.
band-wise.
Think about how many times most people have heard that song,
Oh yeah,
Hotel California. like
Yeah.
Right.
That's one of like.
billions of times.
Yeah.
It's just constantly played. It's, I mean,
It's permanently a part of culture. Like
Yeah.
that
Right.
it's made it to the point where it is permanently a part of like the human history timeline.
Yeah.
That's like the aspirational level for music.
but it's still a good song, and you don't
Yeah.
go, oh my God, I've heard this so many times. Like, you might a little,
Yeah.
but then if you hear it on the actual album and you hear it in the context
Yeah.
too,
It's crazy.
you have a different experience with
Oh,
it,
yeah.
and that's what I love about vinyl. That's like a
A
whole
lot of that.
Shout out to all the youngins listening to this
Yeah.
episode right now.
Yep.
Getting some good education.
I think a
on
lot of people
previous
kind of
musical
like
mediums.
in the like with on the flip side, like with photography. Have you ever tried like film photography at all?
No. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I did it.
If
Oh,
you
like
got
in
in
your
class,
class,
but-
yeah. It's expensive, but
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
also on
Yeah.
like
but
a
it gives us
resurgence.
different. Yeah, it's like there's more of a
Different
there's more
vibe,
time
yeah.
to it.
Even just the sound of like the shutter sounds so much more
Makes
amazing.
you appreciate it, yeah.
Well, I kind of love the idea of,
That's so good.
yeah, it's a real shutter.
Oh,
I kind of love the idea of like old things in a new way.
Yeah.
Like I would buy these old lenses,
Oh yeah.
from
Since Yanko's signing off?
40.
This is me signing off. I got a boogie. I didn't realize it was already
All right, see you,
9:30.
bro.
See you later, man. Good
Yeah,
to
have a
meet
good
you.
night, y'all.
See you.
Deuces.
From like 30, 40-year-old cameras,
Yeah.
and put them on my new DSLR.
Oh yeah,
You
and they
know,
look and it's cool.
It has a very different look to it.
Yep.
A lot of the glass was coated with something very different than they have now.
This one is actually slightly radioactive. It's not enough to do anything to you.
Is it
but-
a Russian? No, Japanese.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a Yashica 51.4, and that thing is actually pretty sweet. Like I have it on this ESR occasionally, and the bokeh looks crazy on it. And but yeah, they like some people on YouTube, they'll take this lens and they'll take a Geiger counter and they'll go like, because they used to use like a coating on the lens that was like radioactive.
Really?
Before they knew.
Oh wow.
There were so many things they used to do with radioactive stuff before they knew it was
Yeah,
bad.
I forget what it was called, but there was this thing that they used to paint
Yeah,
to
like
glow,
green
for
yeah.
things to glow. And I listened to this podcast once where they were these girls that they would hire. They were like 17, 18 years old, and they would pay them crazy amounts of money in like the 20s, where these girls had so much money they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And or maybe the 30s or something, I don't know. But they would paint these watches
Yep.
with this like glowing green paint,
Yeah, and it was
and they would teach the girls to do this and
like
spin
the brushes.
spin the brush in their mouth
Yeah, dude.
to paint, to get that fine point and paint these watches. And so many of these girls died.
Yeah, because of the poison.
Their bodies rotted like from the inside. Their bones would fall apart because of like
It's crazy.
it was the worst thing I'd ever heard. I'm like, I cannot believe. And the company responsible for that like knew it.
Yeah.
They knew it for longer than they said.
Yeah.
And that was like that was tough to listen to like hear that happened to people.
People are twisted
you know?
motherfuckers. All right?
Like I couldn't believe that, but
Yeah.
anyhow.
Yeah. So for you, what? So are you a Canon, Nikon, Sony? What do you
I
shoot
don't
with?
really have a brand that I like yet, but I currently have a Canon and a Nikon.
Okay, nice. There you go.
The first one I ever bought was a Nikon D7000,
Oh, okay,
I
yeah,
think. I just needed it.
yeah,
I like was shooting the first music video I ever did in my entire life for this girl,
yeah.
and I committed to doing it. And I was using my dad's camera. He had that one,
Oh, okay.
but he had to leave the country and take the camera with him.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, well, I need to finish this thing. We had already shot one scene for it, and we're supposed to do this other scene where people were coming, and it was like a thing.
Pause.
So I just,
Sorry, I had to throw it in there.
I just went and bought it.
Don't
You
get
know?
crazy. I am not the one.
Yeah, and then later I ended up getting a Canon T2i,
Oh, okay.
and then later I bought a Canon T3i, and then most recently was a Canon T6i.
Okay. Yeah.
I still have the D7000, but I broke it.
Oh no.
Facts.
Dang.
I had it sitting on my desk
Oh.
with the strap hanging off, and I just moved and
Strap got
put my
hooked.
arm or something
Yeah.
on the strap and just knocked it onto the floor.
Oh, jeez.
Smashed it.
These are my favorite film cameras because they're so tiny. But once you drop these, they're toast. Like it's like a tiny little film camera from Olympus. It goes down to like 2.8. Got this little flash, so tiny. But yeah, I dropped this at a show and busted it up. Like it's not supposed to.
Love
make
it.
that noise.
Not
Love it.
supposed to sound like
Yep.
You know, now that like between the vinyl talk and just like other stuff, I think that like imperfections in art is like what makes it.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
me and Charlie always talk about this. Like, you know, there's times where I'm like, bro, this sounds really good. Like it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like you know, like we'll just tell him that about like his own music because like you're your biggest critic and he's also mixing his own shit plus recording it. So it's like you're everything. So like you're in your head, you're second guessing things. But I definitely think that like having something that sounds like familiar, but it's different, like or like whatever imperfections are in it is like kind of perfect, you know? Like I think that like me having my braces kind of like plays in a weird advantage because like
Okay.
You do have a little bit of like
it's like a slur almost.
a little bit like almost
Like,
not like a lisp, but kind of.
Yeah, it's just like there's sometimes like where I'll say things and it just doesn't sound right, but it's like this kind of can be.
Yeah, it fits.
You know, so
I mean, it's also kind of what it is.
exactly. It's like,
And
this is
you
me
kind of just have to roll with
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you
for
know,
another 30 days or
This-
25 days, and they're off,
yeah.
bitch.
yes. Yeah, but
Tired of these fucking.
I
things.
feel like I don't know if you realize that you're probably going to go through a period after that of like relearning.
You're like, how do
you-
I talk
do.
again?
No, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I'm just gonna try to record now and then figure other shit out after that. But yeah.
I mean, you may
got
find
it.
later, like, hey, like I like this better. I'm doing, you know. You may find that you
Put the braces back on.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
They're like, give me some grills.
But also at that point, it will be what it will be too. So
Yeah.
you have to then embrace that and kind of just go with it.
Yep. And you know, it's just honestly, I don't really see much of a difference, but I also don't remember like before I had them. So
Yeah.
How long have you had them?
be 2 years in June.
There you
So
go.
I'll be getting them off around the time I got them on. So get them off May 30th. You know, hyped.
Really soon, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm excited. But no, yeah. Is that a cast? I think it's almost a
Yeah.
cast. What is it? About an hour? 45 minutes?
45 minutes, yeah.
All right.
Not bad.
We'll call that a fucking cast.
Yeah. Tell people if if you want to give your Instagram or whatever, YouTube.
Ashton.photography with 3 Y's.
Yep.
Okay.
Facts.
Thanks.
I guess I'm on Instagram at Gary Gretarsson, GaryGretarSson.
Facts.
Thanks.
If you need him to do anything singing wise, voice wise, hit him up.
Hit 'em up.
Yep. Guy's got it.
Just not today because, you know,
Yeah, I got that.
That phlegm.
Ohio. It's been like that horrible season of Ohio where you're like, where it's just, the weather's teasing us. It's like, it's almost summer,
Yeah.
guys, but not quite.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the last 3 days I've been just like sick,
Same.
you know.
Yeah.
like-
I think we got sick at the
so-
same time.
so I just kind of like finally today was normal.
Yep.
But I'm still,
Same
you
shit.
know,
Yeah.
beat up over here a little bit.
Same
So
shit.
We got teased with that. Those like 80 degree, like 75, 80
yeah, we
degree
had like a
days.
week, and then
And
back
then it's
down
like
to 40 for
45.
2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
it's
Rainy.
hasn't made up his mind yet
Nope.
out there.
There
you
was
know?
hail at one point, like a
Yep.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that
On
was,
some
that was
bullshit.
something. Yeah.
Like, you never know what's going to happen.
On some bullshit.
So
Indeed.
Shanklin, where can people find the Shankles?
You guys can find me. You guys
At
can
your
find
at
me
your grandma's
at
house?
your granny's house, baking cookies in my skivvies.
Like SpongeBob,
you know,
with his grandma.
Yeah, I'm in my skivs. You know, let me paint a picture for
Grandma's
you.
house.
Let me paint a picture. You guys ready?
Don't get crazy.
Jackson, clip this.
I'm like,
You paint a picture, right? Right. You know, like the SpongeBob sound effect, where it's like the rainbow glitter sparkle sound effect.
yeah.
So put that in there. Boom. Right. You see it. I'm at grandma. I'm at Granny's house. Okay. She's got the curlers in her hair. You know. She's got a nightgown on. You know.
Okay.
And
a nightgown.
We just had a good time.
Oh.
I'm just fucking around.
This is how every podcast.
But you know, I got an apron on, right, and skivvies. I got an apron on and just some skivs.
Okay.
And I'm baking cookies for Grammy. You know, Grammy. She's had a tough week. You know what I'm saying? She's been around since Nam.
Her healthcare got denied.
You know, Medicaid's fucking her. Inflation's just not going well.
You know, fixed income.
I'm baking cookies. You know what I'm saying? I'm wearing nothing but skivs and, you know, my necklace.
Yeah, there you go. You got
and an apron.
Yeah,
you know?
that cross necklace.
Apron says Shanklin on it, right?
Oh my!
So you can go stream my music.
4 and the 7.
Facts. And that's the scene, you know. And then yeah, that's really it. That's the scene.
Oh,
this is when Charlie comes.
This is
I got a rap.
Man, throw on a beat,
Even
bro.
though we just did like the exit.
Damn, y'all rapped already?
It's
No,
fine. It's
we
fine.
We already did like the outro.
We're like
You ain't even rap?
You walked in during
This
the
ain't
outro.
rap. This ain't the rap podcast.
It's the only podcast.
Bro walked in during the outro. We didn't really have like rappers on outside of me.
Hey, we can chill. You know?
Charlie
Wanna kick
Parker.
one?
They're on a
All
beat.
right, look, he comes in. Throw on a beat now.
No, I'm saying you trying to kick one real quick?
I can. Hopefully.
You guys want a little treat?
Don't matter.
Let's go.
All right.
What are you just gonna freestyle?
All right.
Yep.
Let's just see.
Well, I can that shit is so loud.
Yeah, it's like.
It is.
Yeah, we can.
I'll have to get copyrighted for our own music.
It sounds good though.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm gonna restart.
I've been working on that shit for like 8 years.
8 years.
Nah, but I got a beat I made the other day. Can I send it to you?
Yeah, airdrop that.
Okay.
You make beats, bro?
Okay.
You make beats?
Whoa.
Can people buy those beats?
They need to be able to buy the beats. I be having. It's like when the mom won't cut the umbilical cord. That's me.
What?
With the beats. When they be like, cut the cord, mom, because she won't. She can't let her mom.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, click it.
She can't let her kid be like free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
I hear you.
With his beat.
Hold on, I'll be
his
right
beat
back.
children. He doesn't beat children, but
So-
he's got beats that are children.
Whoa.
Yeah, we'll make that clear. Make sure that.
Yeah.
It's funny you were like picture this, and I was just thinking in my head like that's just like Golden Girls. You ever watch that?
Yep.
show?
Yep.
Picture it, Sicily, 1932,
Fact. And I'm just chilling. Grannies. You know?
with the
Cookies.
little granny in
Yep.
Golden Girls. You know.
We got the
Feds. The
All right.
daily podcast feds.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go. I'm going first.
You go first.
All right. Can you make it loud?
For you, Charlie, yeah.
Came back with the bounce, though you could get it by the ounce, me and team don't need an ounce, hold up, tell me what you bout, wait, never care for the clout, you a Pennywise, you a clown, I don't even like football, but if I did, it would be for the Browns, like, hey, 216, but I rep the 330, yeah, I got the heart of the cars, used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh, shorty booty big, could've been on a stripper pole, wait, cross my X's out like we playing tic-tac-toe, Shanklin.
Oh, don't even know. Cold like Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. I got plenty hoes trying to hit me up, but I do not even know. I gotta, let me pass it to the left and let me get up in the pocket. Never stress. I do this like, ooh, hold up. This motherfucking less. I freestyle less. Yeah, because I write more. The kid really finna just up the score. I up this shit. I don't give a damn. Hold on, let me find it.
Hold on, let me get the hook back though.
Okay.
Came back for the bounce, dope, you could get it by the ounce, team don't need no announce, when I see a beat, nigga bounce like, yeah, what you bout, we gotta take it all in the rounds, damn. Your turn, go ahead.
All right. We gotta take it all, I gotta make it all, I gotta go off today. Nice with the flow, don't step on the kid or you can get up out the way. 11:47 in the P. Nice with the flow, finna do it every weekend. Had a show last Sunday. I bumped that bitch, didn't I? That shit was hard.
Yeah.
I got MVP at the show and the kid really flow. When I go, kid golden, you know it. I don't give a damn, you know I come in with heroics and I'm being poetic. Don't stress it. The kid do this. Hold up. Don't stress it. Nevertheless, I've been out here really testing. Nah, hold on. Testing my skills, being best with it. I don't really know. I'm just fuck. I keep
That
losing
beat
it.
is fucking lit.
It is
I know it's ending. Can you start it over one more time?
He's the king of let's run the same beat.
For real.
One more time.
Because I really got a client. This is really unprofessional. This is really unprofessional. All you niggas really is seasonal. Salty Larry's, wait, no, you can't stop me, Why you with all of that talking, All the little bitch get to walking, Shout out to Christopher Walken for no reason. Shout out to Jesus, paraplegic. Don't pledge allegiance to America. What's I'm in America? KKKK. Hit him with AK. 47 when I spray. And it's going down Mayday. And I feel like Prime. Floyd Mayweather. And like Feather. Yeah, wait. Came back for the bounce. Ooh, you can get it by the ounce. Oh my God.
You should sing like that all the time. that like deep voice is really nice on you.
You said you got a sexy voice,
I can't
bro.
do it. I can't rap like that all the time.
Dude, that sounds so good.
Thanks, bro. That might be a rotate
You want me to
beat.
start
I
earlier?
guess that song is gonna be called Bounce.
Yeah.
And then you're just gonna do like some of that and record it because it's pretty good. So
Oh yeah, this song.
This is from the road tapes.
flashback, you know.
Sneak
Alright, yeah, that's a cat. Alright. Anyway, I'm Shanklin.
Charlie.
That's Charlie Parker.
Classic. He always comes in at
And
the
then-
very end, leaves his cell phone,
Leaves everything.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He'll be back at some point. But
Where can I find
Adam
him?
Robb, All Circles Media, come check us out. Our website is looking good. We got the SEO, you know.
Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. Before you end this.
Uh-oh.
Man, hold on, camera. Gotta flex real quick. Shout out my barber. Got the fresh today, bro.
Okay.
See the fade? Listen, I thought my shit was receding.
I thought it was.
I thought it was receding at 19. I'm not even stressed. And I thought I was receding hairline. I thought I was having a receding hairline moment at 19 years old, and I'm not even stressed. And my barber fixed me up so good. I kept the chalk lines on at work today. You saw that.
I did see that. Yeah.
Listen, I was flexing. I got a $45 tip today, and I'm gonna thank my barber because he did a great job. Shout out Rico.
Yeah.
That's the cat.
So, yeah. All right,
Indeed. Yeah.
It's been real fun. And Shanklin, don't let him go to your grandma's house.
Do
Thank you.
not.
Or do. I'm a
not.
gentleman.
I mean-
I'm a gentleman.
I mean, grandmas need
Right?
love too. You
That's
know?
true,
love
yeah.
cookies.
New merch.
I'm not doing anything wrong. You know?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Facts. Shout out
We'll
to all y'all.
We'll
Hit
see you
us up
guys
for
on
booking
the
time.
next one. Yeah, hit us up if you want to rent out the studio. If you want, maybe Charlie, if you ask him nicely, he'll give you a spot in the studio. But
Yep.
we'll see. But all right, y'all.
We'll see.
Deuces.
Mercy.